Hey guys, I just got some news about Ryzen that's quite interesting. I'm gonna try to do this live without any cuts, but I am looking right now at a list of all of the prices, well not all of them, but most of the prices for Ryzen chips, and they kind of exceeded some of my expectations. For example, I was expecting a US price of the top 8 core 16 thread to be about $600. It's only about 500 US. So it'll probably be like 700 in Canada. That's where I am. Um, but the 8 core 16 threads with the automatic overclocking, you'll be able to get that for as little as $390 US. The $320 version doesn't have XFR, which is that automatic overclocking, where the CPU basically just detects that your machine, that you have really good cooling, and then it'll just overclock from there based on what it thinks it can do, based on the thermals, which is a really cool feature. And you can get that on an 8-core 16-thread CPU for $390 US, which is insane. You'll be able to get that on a 6-core 12 thread for only $200 US. That'll automatically overclock itself past 3.9 gigahertz. It's base turbo. Its base is 3.5, turbo is 3.9, and then the XFR will take it up past 3.9 for $200. That's basically better than a 6850X. No, 6850K, sorry, which is crazy. That's just one of the main things that I've been interested in is seeing the equivalent to the current i7 6700 7700K. It looks like the clock speeds aren't going to be as high, which doesn't surprise me that much because the 4 cores, 8 threads, actually this list doesn't show those, but you'll be able to get 4 cores for $150, $130. Honestly, I think most people should be aiming for that 6-core 12 thread line, like for $200 past 4 gigahertz. I can't see that being any better. I have an explanation as to why the prices are as low as they are, and that'll be coming soon. It basically has to do with, I'll just go into it now. It's basically that current AMD, the FX 63 or 8350 take, it has its multi-core performance is on par with the current i5 K series, so the 7600K. The 8350 is much worse in both single and quad core performance, 4 threads, sorry. But once it gets into that, it can use all 8 of its threads or cores. It has 4 modules, 8 threads technically, but that makes it have really good multi-core performance. So AMD couldn't have released a whole new generation of CPUs and had worse all-core performance at the same price point. That just wouldn't have made sense at all. So I was thinking the 68 or the 8350, the FX 8350 actually, and even the 9590 post a minimum price, or rather a maximum price for something like their 4-core 8 thread chip. But yeah, this is very exciting. This is really good news. The only thing we have to wait for now is to make sure that once these processors get into the hands of the third-party developers, we need to make sure they actually hold their own. All we have so far is the reports from AMD themselves, and you always have to be skeptical with that. There have been some leaks. Recently there was a benchmark with 17 AMD Ryzen 7 1700X, I think. Except XFR and even Turbo was disabled because it was only on an A320 board and its RAM was kind of crap and it didn't look like it performed that well, but there's just so many variables that we don't know in that situation, so it's really hard to say anything off of that. It didn't look great, but I still want to wait for those third-party developers just to make sure we know exactly what's going on. We can get exhaustive testing on it, and then we know exactly how it stands compared to Intel, and that's going to be really exciting. Thanks, guys. Take care.